Hey, hey, hey.
We are live, but can you hear us? Because we're just starting, so
We're famous for you not hearing us.
that's right, or the camera dying or whatever. So put a thumbs up, like, whatever. Let us know that you can hear us and we're not staticky and loud or whatever. Dawn says yes, she can hear us. So
Alrighty.
good deal. Then we'll get this show started. I'm Rob.
I'm JR.
And we live here locally, and we love to talk about all things Roanoke on our show.
I love it.
Good and bad.
There's not a whole lot of bad. But let's start with you this week. Well, how was your week?
It was good. So we got to pull up last week. We were able to enjoy that. Starting to see tomatoes on my plants. All my peppers are starting to form. So
Nice.
yeah. So hopefully we'll see it produce. Normally by this time, and I don't know if it's because of the weather or what it is, but Gus says he can hear us loud and clear too, a little bit also. But I don't know if it's because the weather's cold and warm and cold, because we really haven't had a summer. We had a pretty good spring this year.
Oh, yeah. And actually kind of a long spring.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little late getting here, but it hung out once it got here.
And so by now, I normally have at least cherry tomatoes we can eat, and I don't even have those, but I do have quite a bit of cherry tomatoes growing, so hopefully they'll produce. But yeah, so my garden's just been slow going.
Yeah.
You have one too, right?
Yeah, well, kinda. I actually went and got the safety fence to put around. And I forget what happened Tuesday, but last night and into this morning ran a little hectic, so I didn't get the safety fence up.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, while I was out and about today, damn deer got into my garden. So first thing in the morning, the safety fence goes up, shotgun comes out.
Well, once you do that, though, you're going to have to bring that deer to my house because your wife won't eat it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to do no good at my house. Nobody in the house will eat it. So.
Well, just have her over for dinner.
Right.
If she thinks it's chicken, it's chicken. Tegan gets, because she's 11, and she still does to this day. She'll get, like, if you're eating pork and chicken, and a lot of times everything's chicken. Right. She's like, oh, this chicken's so good. I'm like, baby, that's a steak.
That is Layla. I swear to God, I don't care what I put on her plate. Oh, that pork was great. What?
It's not like I'm cooking gray steaks, not boiling them or anything. Right. But yeah, she's like, oh, how this chicken's so good. I was like, baby, that's a ribeye or that's a filet mignon.
I actually thought it was pretty good. Damn.
Yeah. I love that chicken. It was so good. But no, uneventful this week. It was hot. Went on our little field trip this week that was super fun. We'll talk about that later.
Who hell thinks to put a little zoo in a mall?
Yeah, I had no idea. Yeah, that was weird.
I almost got lost. I almost drove around that thing 3 times.
That's why I called you. I was like, hey, are you there? Because my GPS says I'm here and I don't see an aquarium.
Right. And it was actually KK that was looking out the window going, there it is.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And they were calling for storms today, so I was worried that, being out and about that we'd run into those and things. And honestly, I didn't water my garden this morning because they were calling for rain all day off and on. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I don't have to water the garden. Right. Well, dang, it hasn't even rained yet. At least at my house.
Out here.
0. Yeah. Selena said that at her salon that she said one time she looked out and it was just like pouring rain. Okay. And I said, no, it looked like it all day, but we didn't get anything.
Well, I know they had an emergency broadcast come through 4:30 saying that they were expecting ungodly rain in the Salem, Christiansburg area.
And there's still severe storm warning until 9. Now, I do know that throughout Southwest Virginia, and we had power when I left, but at least 3,000 people were without power.
Gotcha.
So they're working to get that back on, and hopefully other people don't lose their power.
Let's hope not.
Selena said, "Sounds like Tiger King." I agree with that.
A little.
I agree.
I did. I didn't see any backstage shady crap going on. But
they didn't let us backstage either. So I don't know if it was because of the weather or what. There was a fire today on Tazwell Avenue.
Right.
And three houses.
3 houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And one firefighter was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, I think.
Okay.
So hopefully he'll be
Yeah,
okay.
because last I heard, nobody was injured.
Yeah. I think four people were able to get out of the fire okay and things like that. And I think the main house was burned, and then the other houses kind of were damaged because this house is on fire.
Right.
And I don't know if it has to do with the weather or just
Or just how close
something
they
else.
are. Depends.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know how the fire started. It could have been in a gas stove
Mhm.
issue.
Yeah, I agree. Or electrical. Those are
Yeah.
all those houses were built in the early 1900s.
1910s, yeah.
1900 to 1926 about.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them are older. Some of them they've gone in and remodeled, and a lot of them they've made multi-family. Because I
Yeah,
manage a
yeah.
rental on Tazwell, and that owner's done a great job.
I've shown I've shown quite a few houses down in the general area, Dale and Tazwell and 10th and all that, and a lot of them are just really kind of split up. You know?
They've made them into apartments, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of that's coming back to where I know, like on Patterson and a lot of Old Southwest, those houses that the older four squares and the Victorians and stuff that have been made into multifamily houses, people are buying them and turning them back into single family
single
houses. I know one of my investors has a house on Patterson, and it is gorgeous. And it was split up into 5 different apartments, and they've taken all the apartments out, and it's got a basement that it's usable, but it's not something that you would make into like a rec room.
Right.
But on the main floor, it's gigantic because it was, I think, 1910 about. So on the main floor, it's gigantic, beautiful hardwood floors. Second floor, same thing, big bedrooms and stuff. But then it's got a walk-up attic.
Okay,
And that actually has 2 bedrooms in it and a big, like you could do the rec room and family room in that house.
Oh wow.
And I would love to buy one of them old Victorians and fix it up.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll change some of those neighborhoods out.
And I'm really glad your investor's going in and making it a single family again. Because you get too many neighborhoods with those split ups, and that's where we lose neighborhoods. Grandma doesn't sit on the front porch anymore.
Well, and unfortunately, a lot of these, not all, but a lot of the owners that buy these old houses like this, they don't keep them up.
Right.
And so that's a whole other issue
Right.
in itself. And I think that's probably,
a whole different show.
yeah, absolutely. But I love seeing all these old houses being put back into single families and just seeing the glory of those days. I would have loved to have lived back then.
Oh, without a
It would have
doubt,
been fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, I would have been okay, but I would have loved to have lived back then.
Right.
Pittsylvania County, their middle school's putting in sports, which in this area is kind of weird because I think all of our middle schools have sports. Does Roanoke City in the middle school?
Don't make me lie to you. I don't
I
have
think
any
they
kids
do.
in middle school yet, so or grandkids in middle school yet.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do.
Because I know back in Tidewater, in 8th grade, you could try out for the high school team. But
Okay.
But the middle schools didn't
Didn't
actually have
have.
their own sports.
I'll see, where I grew up in Salem, they have sports from ever,
Right.
and then your 6th, 7th, 8th, you had sports too. So
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I've never known a middle school or whatever that didn't have sports.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, from like age 4 to 8th grade, it was Y or City League.
Right.
So Y or Rec, I guess.
Little bit's giving us some history here. She said back in the old days, the walk-up attics were the maids' quarters. That's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because she used to live in downtown Newport News, and down there you got a lot of shotgun houses. You can see the neighbor's back door from your front door,
Right.
looking straight through. And I mean, yeah, she knows a lot about
But
the old school.
that makes sense, because if it was a maid, typically they would take care of the children too a lot of
Right.
times.
Yeah, because I mean, I think your downtown Roanoke and your downtown Newport News are going to have a whole lot more in common than people will ever give credit to,
Mhm.
because the downtown Roanoke was a lot more with the railroad and all that. And, you know, not everybody remembers or knows this, but the railroad was down in Newport News before the shipyard was,
Right.
you know.
And I know Crewe, Virginia was kind of a big hub, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've not been in that particular train museum, but that is on my to-do list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been through Crewe a million times, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've never. We usually, that's our halfway point. Like when we used to go to Virginia Beach, we would take 460 across,
Right.
and that was our halfway point. We knew when we got to Crewe, we were about halfway to Chesapeake at least,
Right.
and then so we'd always stop and use the bathroom there, and so yeah.
Gotcha.
But I've never been in the museums or anything.
Yeah, me neither.
And Little Bit said yes, Roanoke City they have middle school sports,
Okay.
so that's
Gotcha,
good.
gotcha. So we got bear sightings everywhere right now.
Yeah,
Apparently one up on Mill Mountain.
Yep, and it wasn't one of their
It wasn't
residents.
one from the park.
Yeah, it wasn't one of their residents either. But yeah, so there's a bear sighting up at Mill Mountain today. I know that over in the Cave Spring, Back Creek area,
Right.
there have been quite a few sightings, and then of course Floyd and Callaway and
Yeah.
they always
I'm
that's
pretty
not.
sure they got P.O. boxes.
Yeah,
in
that
Floyd.
that's not an unnormal thing for them. They
Right.
they do see those a lot of times. So, but yeah, to see one up on Mill Mountain that's not one of the residents, and I
Right.
know that Mill Mountain just got a black bear.
2-3 years ago.
Yeah, they
2
got a
years ago?
black bear exhibit up there. So
Yeah.
maybe he's like, hey, can I help you out?
Hey man, come on out. They bring the food to you. Bring.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't get any at the house anymore. Mary ran ours off.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. I'm sitting there, and I'm not that afraid of bears. I'm a lot more afraid of snakes than I am bears.
Right.
But sure enough, Mary just kind of, it's out there on the front yard. Mary just kind of opens the door, and go on, get. Yep, haven't seen that bear since.
Oh wow,
That was like 2 years ago.
Nice. We don't see bears. The deer get in my front garden
Right.
if I'm not careful. I came home the other night and one was standing in the yard like, what are you looking at?
Right.
Trying to eat here. They'll eat the tops off of some of our flowers. The beans I had netted this year, and they haven't messed with those, which is good. If I leave those open, they'll eat them. Evidently, they don't like Swiss chard. They don't like collard greens.
Okay.
Because I have those growing and doing wonderful. Deer haven't touched them one bit. And like I said, I came in and they were in my yard. But yeah, deer haven't touched them. So
Gotcha.
evidently they don't like those two. But maybe that should tell us something. The deer don't eat it while we eat it.
Oh, I don't know, man. I love me some collards.
Oh, me too. Me too. My last ones I've messed all up. I mean, they tasted okay, but I didn't chop them up enough.
Gotcha.
And so then I thought, okay, the guy in me. I was like, I'll use an immersion blender and just kind of blend it up just a little bit, just to chop it a little. Nah, then it more like a collard green soup.
Stew.
Yeah, it was not. I didn't do a good job.
Yeah, no,
Chickens end up eating it.
Mary, when she makes the collards, they're either dead on or so close it doesn't much matter.
Right.
We did learn that, because we just know that we like ham bone and most any green we get.
Yep.
And but do not do the smoked ham bone in your collards.
Oh, really?
It does something.
Well, see, I had to do
wonky.
bacon this last time, and it wasn't as good. Usually I had like a ham bone or some fat back in there, but I just did the bacon this time, and it, like I said, it was off, and then I didn't chop them enough, and then I'm trying. It was a whole mess. I would not be surprised if they didn't want any more collards.
Right.
So, but when I win the lottery, I'll just pay somebody to come in and fix us good collards.
That's right.
Yeah. And speaking of the lottery, $875 million.
That'd be all right.
What would you do with that money?
Most anything I wanted to.
Right.
I would find out if Terra Alta is being rented or being bought by the current tenant, and probably try to get that. That's just got some beautiful views,
Right.
you know. And you know, probably a couple cruises.
Just a couple.
Yeah. And then, you know, probably open up a little restaurant, invitation only or members only
Okay.
kind of thing. Yeah. How about you?
Our thoughts are way different. I'm buying a mountain.
Right.
We're gonna bring in our A team
Okay.
for those people. We're bringing an A team, and they'll get a little chunk of land in there, and build our own little community. Not
There
a
you go.
cult, not a whatever, but
Right.
people that bring skills and things to the community,
Right.
and build our own little community. But, you know, we're going to be frivolous. Yeah, we're probably, while we're building our house in our community, we're probably going to be at Disney or on a cruise.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, I figure you at that kind of at those numbers, I'd probably screw up $3.5 million on accident.
Right.
Probably screw up $5 million of it on purpose.
Yep.
You know, and something we had talked about.
Oh, no, our
before.
wives are money people.
Yeah, yeah.
We still going to have to ask for an allowance.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. But and I mean, you've brought it up before, and I've thought about it a lot. I think it would be money smart and community smart. Go ahead and see if we can find some land out in front of the VA
Mhm.
and just start a little vet community out there.
Little tiny home community.
Yeah, some people that are having a hard time, or people are coming in from out of town to go to the VA. You know, hey, we got you a spot.
That's what Selena and
Kinda
I
like
talked
a
about.
Ronald McDonald House.
And then we also talked about during, you know, is staffing doctors there or psychiatrists or whoever we need to have them there during hours or whatever.
Right.
So that in this veteran tiny home community, they have a community center, they have help if they need it on site.
Right.
And that's,
right.
I mean, we got to do better taking care of our veterans.
Oh,
and
without a
our,
doubt.
Our country's not
Now, I don't
good at
know that I want to call it like a assisted living community or anything like that, because my wife's also in the medical.
Mhm.
She does the money for medical, and
Yeah.
apparently there's a lot of licenses and a whole lot of
Oh yeah, no,
hoops
no,
to jump
no
through.
assisted
And
living.
I'm
Yeah,
looking to help. I'm not looking to jump through hoops.
yeah, yeah. It's no assistant living. That it's just going to be that community where they have a home.
Exactly. They got a place. They got a
God,
place.
how many of
to-
our veterans are homeless? So
Exactly.
it'd be a place for them to call home, and you know, give them a little piece of land in there that they can have a garden or flowers or heck,
Right.
just lay out in the sun if they want it, but give them that community and
God
maybe
knows
just
they've earned it.
maybe even if it's not a doctor, it's somebody that has the knowledge to help them through some of the red tape they go through
Right.
to get the help
Yeah,
they
somebody that does paperwork.
need. Yeah,
You know,
something.
your job is to do paperwork 9 hours a day.
Yeah, but while we're building our house on the mountain, we'll probably be at Disney for a while, and
Right.
then you know, maybe, I mean, honestly, I've been thinking retirement wise, you can, for $30,000, you can go on a cruise
Right.
and live the whole year.
Right.
And that includes your food and room and board and everything. I mean, I'm like,
And-
okay,
And the ice cream machine at the back, it's open
Yeah.
23/7.
I mean, I don't think I need all the free booze and all that other stuff, but if your food and your living quarters are taken care of, that's cool.
And somebody else is going to make the bed every morning?
Yeah.
I mean, Mary does it now, but yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm thinking about retirement on a cruise for, you know, hey, this is how much I make a year, and you know, it's got to be, you know, look at some of the rentals going on, because rentals are going up.
They are.
And
They
so,
are.
you know, right now in Roanoke, you're lucky to find anything under $900,
Right.
and that's for one bedroom. If you do jump on it, and honestly, right now though, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
There's a reason.
I got a call from somebody a couple weeks ago that was supposed to go to one of my rentals that I have. She's supposed to meet some person there that was going to take her deposit and everything for the house. He didn't have the keys. His business partner was out of town with the keys or something. and she was confirming with me a time, and I was like, no, that's not me. And then she wouldn't tell me what day because I wanted to go meet the person that was stealing money.
Right.
I was taking the cops with me. But yeah, somebody had said, oh, we're, it's $650 and something. Usually these, and you'll see on Facebook, you'll see the ads, and they catch you with the, rent to own this 4-bedroom, 2-bath houses, $680 a month. No, it's not.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, we'll go ahead and put the rent to own guide up on our site.
Yeah.
There's usually an option. You have to put money down.
Mm-hmm. You got to put money down. It's just like renting until you can buy. It just kind of gives you the option to buy. But it can be a good option for some people that are pulling themselves up and
still
getting
working on
themselves
their credit,
back on track and things. But there aren't a lot out there that offer that rent to own, especially in this area.
I think it's most anywhere. The country, the world, what have you, has kind of gotten to a point where fewer and fewer people are looking to rent you their property until you can buy it. They're looking to have passive income in rent, or they're just trying to flip the house anymore.
But there are companies out there.
HGTV killed the real estate industry.
There are companies out there in the larger cities, not in our city. I think Northern Virginia is the closest, but there are companies out there that will buy a house, allow you to rent it while they help you fix your credit to buy it.
Right.
And so you go out and they'll approve the house, but you got to have money down, and it's a legit deal, but
got to have the credit or the money.
Yeah, and so there are companies out there, but just not in this area right now. So if you see that rent to own, and list this house is $400 a month, and it's too good to be true. It is. Right. It is. And talking about too good to be true, Western Virginia Water Authorities holding a public meeting for proposed rate increase July 20th at 4:30 at the admin building at South Jefferson. Right. I know that was a lot, but the increases are just getting to be too much. I think.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, just too much. So I think the more people that show up to these events it's not really an event, but more people that show up to these things and voice their opinion, it may make a difference. If nothing else, you'll know the politicians that support their constituents
or whoever's on the board.
Yep.
I'm not completely and utterly against increases. Everybody wants a raise. Things get more expensive as inflation goes up, and what have you. That being said, if you're doing your second one in 3 years, I want to hear why.
Right.
I just make your argument.
Especially
don't just
with the economy the way it is.
I'm used to paying $70 for water. Now it's $93. Hey, I didn't budget that $23. Hold that thought.
Right. So definitely show up to these things, and go from there. Noodles and Company. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have not.
I believe it's a franchise. They're opening up in Christiansburg.
Okay.
And I only mention this because when my son went to VCU and I'd go up and visit him or pick him up for the weekend, Noodles and Company was a place we'd go and eat.
Okay.
And basically it's kind of, it's not like a Subway because you don't walk through and pick what you want on it, but you got to go in. They have noodles. They have like the beef Japanese noodles, and they've got
the rice noodles.
Yeah, so they got different noodles, and they even have mac and cheese with Wisconsin cheese on it.
Okay.
And so you go in, you say, okay, this is the noodle I want, and then you can say, okay, this is the protein I want. I want chicken in it, I want beef,
right.
And you kind of add to it. And so it's good. It's fast food.
Right.
But so on our trip to Sequest, on the way back, we had to eat some lunch, and we passed Noodles and Company up in Lynchburg. Right. And I was like, oh, wow. And so we U-turned and ate at Noodles and Company. And it was good. It was exactly what I remembered. Tegan doesn't like spicy, and she got the Japanese noodles, and I told her they were going to be spicy, and she's like, that's good. I like Japanese noodles. Well, they were a little spicy for her. She ate some of it, but it was good. And mine had like peanuts. It was more like a Kung Pao type chicken because it had peanuts and a peanut sauce and the noodles. And I got grilled chicken and I ate a little bit of that. But the noodles were so good that I just didn't care about anything else. I think what was weird though is they added cilantro to it, which for me, when I look at Japanese, Chinese, that cilantro is more of a
you don't think
Hispanic.
Italian.
yeah. I don't think Italian when I think of cilantro either, but it's more of a Mexican type herb.
Right.
I like cilantro cooked and stuff. I don't like cilantro raw as much unless it's just in a salsa.
Right.
It tastes like soap to me. I've got that gene.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Selena and Tegan, they can walk out in the garden and just eat the cilantro right off the thing. And I'm like,
and I think the reason I think Italian is,
wouldn't that be parsley or oregano though?
well, I mean, oregano definitely, but I think all those, thyme and all that, more Italian, because I don't think I like anything Mexican or Hispanic with cilantro in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
But
See, if it's with food, I don't mind. It can't be like a big old pile of it.
right.
But with food, if it's sprinkled in there, it doesn't bother. I can taste it still, but it doesn't.
Okay.
It blends with the food,
Right.
and it's good
Well, I mean,
for me.
and it'll add a really good taste to your spaghetti sauce.
Okay. Yeah, I've never tried cilantro. If Selena's watching, she's probably going to try cilantro next time. But it's kind of like rosemary, too. Rosemary, to me, is very pungent. I like to cook with it. But I don't like the smell of rosemary very much.
Gotcha.
And I know it's got some healthy oils. It's good to keep away lice and stuff like that, too. So it's got a lot of different other properties. But, yeah, I don't like the smell of rosemary at all. And I had some bourbon infused with rosemary at Disney a couple years ago.
Okay.
And it's because we got the dining plan. It came with a drink. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try a drink.
Right.
I love the store Little Bit Hippie. But if Little Bit Hippie were a drink,
Right.
it would be that rosemary infused bourbon.
Gotcha.
I was like, oh no. But it was free, so I drank it.
Right.
Wasn't going to waste it, but it was
Not gonna
not
waste
very
free
good. Yeah, it was not very good. I was like, whoa. Bridge repairs on 81.
Yeah.
Poor 81. There's always either a wreck there or they're doing some kind of construction. I mean, it's not as bad as 95, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's not 95, but Jesus. Half the time it'll turn into a parking lot just because
It's raining.
there are rigs in both lanes.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear the drivers are just arguing
Probably.
at 35 mile an hour. Come on, guys, come on. And and there's always an accident. State man is always out there.
There's one today up near Christiansburg.
Well, and there's always one out there at the scales.
Mm-hmm. Out in Botetourt.
And I mean, everybody's getting it. Everybody's doing 75, 80. They see him and they know the speed limit's 60, so everybody's braking.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even trying to get down to 67. Everybody's trying to get down to 60 or 55.
I think it's a lot of it.
And
Yesterday.
it's just like, stop.
Mm-hmm. Yesterday, coming back from farm school with Tegan, because she goes to farm school out in Fincastle on Wednesdays,
Right.
and headed back yesterday. I mean, I was going 75, almost 80, where it's 70 miles an hour, and there were people just flying past me like I wasn't even there.
Right.
And that's why if people would go to the speed limit, pay attention to the road,
Right.
there'd be so many less wrecks.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that's a bad area. And what's really bad is there are always cops there.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's
people
not like
don't
they snuck
care.
up on you.
Yeah, people don't even care. They just fly through there.
And, it goes back to a racing concept. And cautions breed cautions. As soon as there's one wreck, there's three.
Mm-hmm. I did get out of a ticket one time through Botetourt. We were probably 80, 85, and it was probably only 55 maybe back then.
Right.
I mean, it's been 25 years ago.
Right.
But so we were flying through there, trying to get home from a job, and flying through there. Well, there was a tractor trailer right on my tail. So as soon as I passed the police officer, I could see him.
Right.
I slowed down and got over.
Gotcha.
And then the tractor trailer flew on past me. And then so I got over. Well, the police officers, the state trooper, flew past me to pull over the tractor trailer. Well, when I was getting ready to pass, the state trooper pulled in front of me, and my friend's like, "Go around him. He can't pull over two people." Right. And I'm like, "Okay." And so I'm pulling around him, and then, well, yeah, they can. He pulled over with me and flipped me over. So he can. So me being smart, fast on my feet. Why are you going so fast? Were you speeding? Yeah, I was speeding. Why are you going? Well, that tractor trailer was right on my butt. And no matter, and it was true, no matter which lane I went to, he was in behind me. Mm-hmm. But I could have slowed down or even just gotten off the road.
Right.
But I didn't. And so I blamed it all on him.
I got somewhere to be.
Yeah. And so the officer just came back and said, "Hey, I'm going to give you a subpoena for court. He's from out of town. He's probably just going to pay it and move on." He said, "But call the day before court or the day of court and see if you have to come to testify." And I was like, "Okay." And he paid it out of court, and I never had to go. But I was flying through there.
Him or his company.
I don't do that anymore, though. It's too much.
So, the last 2 weeks, guess what's gone?
Salem Fair.
No more Salem Fair. I did not even get in there to get a fried Oreo.
Me either. Such losers.
I know.
Yeah, I think I got by there when they were setting it up and took the drone video.
We do a podcast about Roanoke, and we did not make the Salem Fair.
I know.
We can't do that again.
No, we need to be more active out there in those things. That's why we're taking them field trips too.
Right.
Just kind of showing the different, and we'll upload those videos onto our YouTube and stuff like that too.
Right.
And we'll try to get better about bringing in some of the footage of our field trips.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, Salem Fair's gone. I know that the workers in Salem are probably celebrating. We probably need to just take them some pizza to the Civic Center. Maybe that's what we do. Take them up some food to the Civic Center, because I know the Civic Center workers, they're nonstop for the Salem Fair.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, the fair got out of town just in time for Pirate Days on Smith Mountain Lake.
Oh, yeah. And they've relaxed some of the restrictions from COVID.
They did. I think Seth finally got in there and took a look. I don't know that he was.
Oh, with the green. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know that they've lifted any, but they've definitely relaxed some of the swimming restrictions in the lake. I don't know what they found or just what. I wasn't at the meeting.
Right.
But.
So yeah, at the lake this weekend, Smith Mountain Lake, there's Pirate Days. There's lots of different events throughout the weekend at the lake.
Right.
Some of the different restaurants. I know as we talk later, it is Mexico Viejo is doing
tequila bar.
They're doing pancakes with pirates, and so they're doing some kind of like costume dress up thing for the kids and like a costume contest for the kids and stuff like that. So it's pancakes with pirates. That's pretty cool. That is a good way to market, and
without a doubt.
Yeah, they did a good job there. So that's going to definitely be fun. We may or may not try to make it.
Right.
It's a lot of people. I've gotten away. I guess the older I get, the less.
I love people. I hate large groups.
I want to be in those big groups. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because people are rude now. They'll bump you and not say anything.
And I don't even need you to say excuse me, but when I got divorced, I spent a fair bit of time single and crammed a whole lot of fun into a short span of time. Mm-hmm. I don't care about half of these people.
Right.
Just leave me alone. I didn't come out here to talk. I came out here to enjoy.
Right.
And it's not me being a butthole. Trust me, if you talk to me, I will talk to you.
Right.
Until you tell me to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I don't want to.
It's just too many. Too many people. I mean, even at Sequest, I was going to get in the car and some little car whizzes on in there.
Right.
I had to pull the door before he hit it. And so he got out of the car. I was like, "Glad you didn't hit me, my friend." And he's like, "Yeah, me too." And I was like, it's just, people are only think about themselves, I think, nowadays.
A lot.
So not good. But anyway, Festival of India returns to Elmwood Park. That's on August 12th
Okay.
from 4 to 8.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm fat, so I love food.
Right.
But there's not like one certain food I like. There's not one certain. I just love to try all foods.
Right.
Even if it doesn't look appetizing, I'll be like, I'll try that one time.
Right. Oh yeah, that's how I got where I'm at. I quit going. That doesn't even sound appealing.
But as I read that article, it didn't say. I mean, I don't know if this is the second year or the 20th year of it. Because it just said, it just said that it returned. So maybe this is the second year.
Mary's not big into Indian food.
Right.
So.
Not either is Selena. And I can only I love curry, but gives me heartburn. The older I get, the changes my taste buds.
Right.
So our field trip, we kind of sprinkled in a little bit of stuff on that.
We did.
But each week we're trying to take the kids on some type of field trip.
And somewhere that, will be acceptable to put on here. Take them somewhere that they're going to enjoy, we're going to at least halfway enjoy, and something, if you're in the Roanoke area, check this out, check out this video, check out this picture.
Yeah.
And
it just allows us to share those experiences with those, 3 people that watch us?
Right.
Yeah.
3 to 5.
But anyway, so we went to Sequest in Lynchburg. I didn't even really, I think we haven't had cable in forever.
Right.
So I don't see a whole lot of local ads. But I think I'd probably watched an ad or two on it. But last week, Selena, after our podcast last week, she's like, hey, did you know that Lynchburg had an aquarium? Y'all should go to Sequest. I'm like, okay. So I called you and we were like, we're going to do this. This is going to be fun for the kids.
Right.
And so, you look online and it's like, oh, they got otters and they got pigs and sloths and aquarium. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, and then they had the big tortoise out walking around amongst everybody. I'm like, that thing looks like he could take a tow.
So then as we roll up today, I'm just like, hey, where is this place?
Right. Yeah. Well, I pull in and it tells, Google is telling me, hey, your destination's on the right. And I pull in and there's a mall, but the road keeps going around. I say, well, I'm going to go around because obviously it's behind the mall or something. And no, it's actually in the mall.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And so as I was explaining that to Selena, and she had mentioned it earlier, as I had mentioned to Selena, I was like, well, I was in a mall and they had this. And it's just kind of weird. It was fun and kids had a blast.
Yeah, without a doubt.
She broke out with, sound more like the Tiger King.
Right.
With because they did that stuff in malls and things for Tiger King.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So in Tiger King, they had this little traveling road show, according to the show.
Right, exactly.
How much is true, we don't even know.
And to be honest, what I got out of Tiger King
is 10 less IQ points.
Well, yeah, at least. I was shocked to find out how little it cost to buy a tiger at the time, and I thought they were going to be a lot more expensive than that.
Is that why you're getting that fence at your house?
No, Mary won't let me have chickens and a tiger, so,
Oh, so chickens and maybe some deer in the freezer.
Right. And once the whole battle between him and Carol Baskins got on that show, I forgot that he traveled around to circuses and malls and everything.
He did malls, but it was.
I started wondering where her husband was.
But the kids had a blast, and it was kind of similar because it was like to feed the fish, it's a token. If you want to hold the lizard, it's a token. You want to see the African cat, then
I think the cat is like 5 tokens.
5 tokens, and you had to have an adult go in with you if you were under like 13 or something.
Right.
But yeah, you got to see all kinds of stuff. Tegan got to pet a stingray and a horseshoe crab.
Right. And Jonathan loved that little Stingray area too.
And what's kind of cool though is that your ticket, it was only like $13 or $15. It wasn't much,
Right.
but your ticket is actually good for all day.
Right.
So you can go in there, go around. I think we did it twice and probably could have done it 3 or 4 more times if we wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, nobody gave us the side eye or the stink eye. Or
Oh no, it's an all day pass though.
Right.
So we could have gone out to the mall or gone home, taken a nap, and then come back and done it again later that day.
Right.
Especially if you're local in Lynchburg, that's a great place to just go hang out and see some animals.
It is. And I mean, they've got that one room off to the side. I think they do birthday parties if anybody is looking for something different for their kids.
There were a lot of
birthday.
daycares there today. But I also,
And like Boys and Girls Club, I think, did a field trip out there.
and Mary's going to love this, but I've got that picture of Jonathan
Right.
kissing that
Trying to
stingray.
kiss the stingray.
Yeah. He's like, his face. So like, did he put his lips on that glass? I was like, I don't know. Probably though.
Right.
He'd be all right.
That's how you build an immune system.
That's right. But it was super great. I mean, they had everything was, I think just about everything was touchable except for like the snakes.
Yeah.
You know, or-
couldn't touch the snakes.
But all the fish, you could put your hand in there and touch them.
Yeah. Which may not be the smartest thing with the sturgeon, but you know.
Yeah, you know what? They
Not
only
my
do it
insurance,
once.
I
That's
don't
right.
care.
They only do it once. But yeah, the sturgeon, that one, they had said rainbow trout, but I didn't see any trout.
any. Yeah.
But you could put your hand in there
Because I'd
and
have gone back with a pole.
feed them. I've got that picture of Tegan holding the food going, kind of flicking it in there. It wasn't the food I was thinking it was. I mean, it was like, what?
Sardine heads.
Yeah, it was pieces of sardine and stuff. So it wasn't, I was thinking they'd have like the dry food that
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
most places they don't. But Tegan, all the kids got to feed the parakeets.
Yeah.
And then your one little one had a parakeet battle going on in her hands.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3 of them fighting each other for the food.
Poor KK.
But no, that was a good time, and had no idea that a mall could hold a.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking maybe I put a zoo down here at Tanglewood. Right. I'd be the Roanoke Tiger King.
There you go.
But it did have that small town feeling like Mill Mountain Zoo.
Right.
And it may have had more animals than Mill Mountain Zoo.
Probably about the same.
Okay. They didn't have little prairie
a lot,
dogs.
A lot more fish than Mill Mountain does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mill Mountain has the monkeys. And were you here a few years ago when it got out?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. The monkey got out and all over the mountain. That's a
Terrorized
bad
the park.
place. Yeah, that's a bad place to lose an animal.
Right.
I mean, if you lose that black bear out of that, and you're never finding that black. I guess they're tagged, but
Right. Yeah, but still, there's a really good chance he's at one of those houses right down the hill before you find him.
oh, absolutely, he's gone.
The neighbor's going to find it before you do.
So each week we talk about places that are hiring. So this week I thought we would kind of talk about apprenticeships.
There you go.
I mean, that,
It's past time to talk about
apprenticeships.
You know, I know, and I say that because knowing me, when I came out of high school, I think everybody I know went to college except me. I went to the apprentice school at the shipyard for a little while.
Okay. But that's a great alternative to college.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Probably 90% of the time these apprenticeships are paid.
Right.
You're not paid $50 an hour or whatever.
No, you're going to make a little more than minimum wage. You're going to make more than your high school buddy
at
fast
McDonald's.
food. But they're also going to charge you X amount, and I wouldn't even guess what union dues are today.
If it's part of the union.
Right.
Yeah, it just depends. Like Norfolk Southern, they're hiring electrical apprentices for signal trainees.
Nice.
So they probably are union, but that's
Probably.
I don't know any of that.
And I'm not necessarily pro or anti-union.
Right.
You handle you. That being said, what I can say about the railroad, I know in the past they take care of their own.
They do.
They take care of their own. Not necessarily higher up, but if you're working the rail, if you're working in the cars, the whole yard. If something happens to you, the whole yard will show up at your house. What do you need? They'll show up with a side of beef.
And Gus could probably speak to that. He was with Norfolk Southern for over 40 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay.
one of our watchers. He actually messaged us at 7:20 and told us to log in early so he didn't miss the podcast. So hopefully he's doing well, or didn't have to go somewhere tonight, and he's able to watch.
Let's hope.
I know he watched the replay last week.
Okay, good deal.
For ours,
Good
we played his video. Davis Elliott Company.
Okay, I've heard good things about them. Branch Heavy Equipment is looking for an apprentice. Now there's something you can
A
do.
heavy equipment apprentice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You get your cert on that, you can write your own ticket.
Electrical apprentice at Varney Electrical and Steel Dynamics.
And Steel Dynamics.
Yep.
Okay. I got looking for tradesmen, electrical and plumbing out at Ostrom. Do electrical. I've done plumbing. Do electrical. You got
It's a crappy job,
Oh, it is. You don't have to herd near as many turds in electrical.
right?
So it smells a lot better.
So when I pulled up apprenticeships today on the internet to kind of go through and see who had the apprenticeships available, at the bottom it said, click for 100 plus more.
Right.
So there are a ton of apprenticeships out there. If
Right.
college isn't the way, or you're looking for a change in careers or whatever.
Or at the end of the day, understand, so few of your friends are going into the trades these days. Again, you can darn near write your own ticket. Look.
And without student loans.
Yeah. Look, I'm coming in. I'm willing to work weekends if that's what you need. I'm here 10, 12 hours, whatever, as long as I'm on the clock.
You getting paid?
I'll be here. You can probably start off 17, 18 these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's from the jump.
Yeah, and it's work.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be prepared to work. It's not,
And don't be afraid. I know quite a few construction companies. If you're still in high school, go tell them, hey, I'm off for the summer.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of construction companies out there.
I'm sure landscapers too, but there seem to be a lot of landscaping.
I was a roofer helper when I was 11. My friend's dad owned a roofing company,
Right.
And so for 2 summers, so I guess 11 and 12, right before I went into foster care, I worked at his dad's job during this. I'd go and his dad and their crew would throw the shingles off the roof,
Right.
and we'd have to put them in the truck,
Right.
and then we would ride to the dump and help unload the truck.
There you go. And roofing's a fun job when you're young.
Yeah.
After about 28, 30, you're just like, yeah, no.
No, getting up there.
Or that's me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So a million things. It seems like, and I think we probably noticed that there are more things to do during the weekend now because of
Right.
COVID.
Right. Exactly.
Because you think about it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many things again this weekend. As I knocked the mic down, and everybody okay out there? They still hear me? But all of our 2 people. But so you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do this weekend. But I think it's because of COVID.
Yeah. I mean,
There wasn't anything to do really.
Right. And I mean, a couple of your medical places still had the mask mandates,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of places didn't want to put anything on.
Right.
Because everybody wanted to have a mask on because you had to have it on to go much of anywhere.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that I think we can. I think a little bit says she could hear us. But so many things to do this weekend. But you know what you can't do this weekend?
Go to the sale fair.
That's right. I'm sure the city workers are like, woo! I know that it brings in a lot of money to our community.
Exactly.
But that's a lot of work. When I was 17, maybe 18, I worked one summer as a temp service. And we used to have the right before the Salem Fair was the horse show.
Okay.
And so So one weekend, the temp service called and they're like, "Hey, we got a weekend job for you. Do you want it?" And it was kind of cool because I was in high school and I was like, I could work or not work.
Right.
That was up to me. And so I didn't have that set schedule. So they called and they're like, "You want to work the horse show, helping set up tents?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. What do do I need to bring gloves? What do I need to bring?" Right. "I'll just show up with lunch. It's going to be a 16-hour day. You'll do one Saturday and one Sunday and the show should be set up." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Well, so I get there in the first half of the day, and you got to think, when I graduated high school, I was like 143 pounds.
Right.
So I was bony. I wasn't like I am now. And so the first half of the day, I was working a jackhammer driving stakes into the ground. And so it was like some poor guy down there. I've never worked a jackhammer. I'm like, lift it up, boom. Right. And then we go to the next stake. And so the first half of the day, no gloves. Nobody had gloves.
Right.
The first half of the day, 8 hours, I'm jackhammering, had lunch, come back. Then we're pulling ropes to put the tents up. My hands.
Still with no gloves?
Yeah, still no gloves. So by the end of the day, my hands were hamburgers. So I called the temp service like, "Yeah, I won't be going back tomorrow. You need to just let me go. I understand, but I'm not. My hands are hamburger and nobody had gloves." And
right.
Too much.
I mean, the jackhammer should have toughened your hands up a little bit for that rope.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh my gosh." They're like, "You want me to lift this up?" And this guy just hold this thing here. Right. Okay. That's not a real good idea because I don't even have a license to do that. Right. I would feel more comfortable checking myself out at Walmart than I would using a jackhammer.
I keep telling them I'm afraid of the background check. That's why I didn't apply here.
That's right. But we got Showtimers presents Baby. Showtimers right there on Electric Road near Kagi Village. Right. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I've not been there, but I've driven by it.
My brother used to play for like the Junior Roanoke Symphony, and then they told him he was too good, and he ended up playing for the Roanoke Symphony for a little bit. But he also did some different music things at Showtimers.
Okay.
And then Zach at McAdoo's, I think he's done Showtimers if he's not now. I know he's in some kind of...
Well, he does acting, right?
He does.
Yeah.
So he's in some kind of show now for the next couple weekends.
Oh, nice.
And so I don't know if it's that one.
And
or,
I'm happy to hear that because I know he loves that.
Mm-hmm. I tell him he needs to go down to Disney and just be on stage all the time. He's always so happy. Summer Blockbuster.
Okay, so that's not a...
Huh?
That's not a server.
No, I think
game he plays.
Legitly, most of the time he's super happy.
Because I don't know that I've ever seen him just down or Jesus, it's busy.
Yeah, not too much. He usually has a smile on his face, so I don't know if he gets in his car and he may cry. Right. He's like, "God, it's too much," and he may cry in his car. But he's always been pretty positive. Right.
Okay.
But Summer Blockbuster series at the Grand Theater.
I think it's Dirty Dancing this week.
It is, and still nobody. And so I don't know if maybe we look at next week. Our field trip be to Mountain Lake.
Right. Okay.
Maybe we can hit Cascades, the waterfall.
Right.
And then drive by Mountain Lake. I don't know how close they are.
Yeah,
so we'd have to look on the map.
I've never actually been in there, so we'll find out how close
so we'll have to look that up on the map. I know that one time when our kids were little, we were headed to D.C. to see some friends, and Max wanted to swing by Richmond to see some friends on the way to D.C.
Right.
Yeah. It's not really on the way. So we ended up having to hit that ugly 95 from Richmond to D.C., and that is awful.
Yes, yeah. I just soon pay you to beat me with a bat.
But yeah, you don't just swing by. So if those two places aren't close, then we think it's something else. But we need to find out if Mountain Lake has water in it.
Yeah.
That's my thought. It's called Mountain Lake. Do you change the name? Because it's not. I'm surprised nobody sued them.
Right.
Like how you said it was a lake. It's not a lake. I know Buffalo Wild Wings there for a while were getting sued because their boneless chicken wings weren't really chicken wings. Weren't really chicken wings. And so people are crazy. Colt Ford with Creed Fisher at the Dr. Pepper Park.
I like Creed.
Daleville Summer Concert Series. Bottom of the Barrel's playing.
They're pretty good.
I haven't been to live music in a long time. Need to get out. Mr. Seth is playing at Twisted Tea tonight.
Nice.
Not Twisted Tea, Twisted Track.
Okay.
Yeah, Twisted Tea. And if you're thinking about getting Twisted Tea, the bomb pop flavor, because it makes you, they have a Twisted Tea as a bomb pop flavor.
That's how long
You
it's
have to
been.
buy that 12 pack to get that flavor.
Okay.
And so I got to just reminisce. I liked bomb pops when I was a kid. Like, oh, I might have to try that.
Right.
It didn't taste like a bomb
Not the
pop.
same.
No, and so now I've got 11 Twisted Teas sitting in my freezer, in my fridge.
If you want to taste not a bomb pop.
Yeah.
Give Rob a
Let
call.
me know. I'll drop off a Twisted Tea to you.
Right.
Mill Mountain Zoo has animal enrichment fund.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're getting out some of the animals to play with people or.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Salem After 5 is back.
Oh yeah.
Got live music at Mill Mountain Zoo. I guess.
No, live music. Thomas Hines at Star Hill Brewery.
Gotcha. Well, I saw that part, but I was like,
Yeah, the little squiggly mark I put in there. It kind of tells you where it's at. I
Gotcha.
should have put a key at the bottom.
Gotcha.
Salem Red Sox playing Delmarva Shorebirds. Sinklin Farms, I reached out to them last year. Sinklin Farms is having their third annual Sunflower Festival.
Okay.
I want to fly my drone at sunset out there.
Okay.
But I know there's a lot of people, and I reached out to them last year, and they never responded.
Is the Sunflower Festival?
Coming up this weekend.
Nice.
It's
Okay.
in Christiansburg, so maybe Sunday we'll try to hit that one.
Okay.
Maybe we
Maybe
can, if you take Route 11 up to Christiansburg, it's a little easier drive than having to deal with 81.
Right. Well, last time we took the Parkway.
To Christiansburg? Did you take it to Floyd and then over?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You can do that too, because that new area. I think that'll be my Sunday drive this week. The open area of the Parkway.
Okay.
I was going to do it the other morning, and I just got behind. Pancakes with the Pirates. We talked about that one.
Yep. Kids costume contest.
Yep.
You know,
Breakfast with the Animals. It's at the Mill Mountain Zoo. They do that every third
Saturday.
Yeah,
Of the
third
month?
Saturday third Saturday or third Sunday.
Is it the Sunday?
I think it's Saturday. Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
pretty sure it's
Yeah,
Saturday.
every third Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
They do breakfast with the animals. That'd be pretty cool.
I haven't made it, but it sounds like a blast.
Salem Gun and Knife Show, and then Slaughter and Vixen at the Dr. Pepper Park. And then there's a million other things going on.
Guarantee it. But I used to like Slaughter.
Yeah.
Never listened to a whole lot of Vixen. But.
So it looks like there's a lot going on this weekend. Not a lot of bad stuff in the Roanoke area this week.
Yeah.
I mean, we have shootings just like everybody else. We have muggings and whatever else. So,
But they didn't make the news this week like they did last week.
no, they didn't. So all the good stuff. Stay safe in the storms. Little bit says Roanoke City Police is doing free hot dogs on the 19th.
Oh, nice.
On the 9th, that's a day after my birthday, and that's a Wednesday, right? Yep.
Yep.
We're gonna have to go eat free hot dogs, see how they compare with the rest of the hot dogs of the.
That's right. Got your work cut out for you.
His voice is cracking like Peter Brady
I
tonight.
have no idea what is going on with my voice today.
So next week he'll pop up and he'll be Peter Brady, realtor / pop.
I have all kinds of zits on my face. Apparently, I'm going through puberty again.
It happens, I guess. I don't know. I think that's it for this week. Yeah, I mean,
I think today was a busy week, but not podcast worthy busy. Would you go with that?
yeah, I think so. If there's anything you want us to talk about, Little Bit said lack of sleep, because you were up half the night, right?
Yeah.
Had some things going on with your mom and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, prayers for her.
Not too hard. I love her, but
Don't pray too hard. But so until next week, have a safe week.
Make good choices.
Have a good week.